If you're tired of combat encounter after combat encounter, I've got a very different kind of encounter for you. One that's going to encourage your players to share a little bit of their backstory and maybe even some of their deep, dark secrets. For their characters, you don't want the players' deep, dark secrets, because that would be like, ugh. Now this is cool because some players do spend a lot of time on their backstories coming up with dark, traumatic events that shape their character, and usually through the course of gameplay they never get to share these experiences or what makes their character tick, which is a little bit sad. Well, this encounter is to encourage them to do just that. Reveal some backstory and maybe even these deep dark secrets. Give these characters just a little bit of spotlight, and then we kill them after that. Also, there's a secret way to get a free PDF of this adventure, but it's only revealed at the end of this YouTube video, and you have to watch the whole thing to spawn the link. It's getting crazy at the moment how far YouTube tech has come. But let's break it down. There's 4 phases to this encounter: the haunting, the hunt, the extraction, and finally the manifest. But before we even get into that, let's look at a couple of possible hooks you could use to get your players on track to do this adventure. Hook number 1. A necromancer offers to pay the party to capture a powerful spirit that haunts the swamp. The necromancer gives them a soul jar that should be unstopped when the spirit has been defeated. And this jar will suck in the weakened soul and trap it. The necromancer pays well for this captured powerful soul. Or, another hook, a well-geared adventuring party has set out to explore a remote region of the Young Swamp, and they have not returned yet. It is rumoured they carried several magic items with them. The players have heard this rumour, and they might set off to rescue them, or at the very least, recover the magical items from their cold bodies. So now, after travelling to a specified region of the Young Swamp, we enter Phase 1, the haunting. First, here's a description of the grove in case you want to screenshot it. But remember, at the end of the video, secret PDF link will pop up. And that description, basically, it's a grove covered in moths with moth-covered mounds in the centre of it. And these mounds are from the lost adventurers who had fallen to the misery of the haunting ghost that resides here. And this ghost is known as the Murmuring Man. And we're still in Phase 1. This ethereal hidden spirit feeds on the dark thoughts of anyone who dares enter its domain. As its victims sink into misery, the Murmuring Man grows more powerful until it feels strong enough to take a physical form and attack the weakened party. And so the haunt encounter starts off with this ethereal ghost secretly preying on each party member, digging in deep to dredge up old trauma, guilt, and self-loathing. Every character must make a Wisdom DC 20 saving throw to fight off the secret psychic attack. And I mean, this is a high DC for a low-level party, but you have entered its domain, and this one is heavy with the misery the spirit has pulled from the many fallen bodies scattered all about. Now, a success means the character unknowingly shields themselves against the ghost digging into their psyche. Maybe they feel a little bit of melancholy starting to settle in, but they fight it off with a good memory. And you can allow a bit of roleplay here as the successful saver recounts an event that brought him just a little bit of joy. And that's the end of Phase 1. Phase 2, the hunt. Now, a character who made the save remains unaffected, but for those that have failed, it means the haunting ghost is free to dig in this character's secrets and feed on anything that has caused the character guilt, shame, remorse, or misery. It dredges up something that torments the character, and it feeds on it. The player doesn't have to share these secrets with his party just yet, and whether that secret is unearthed depends on the next phase. Just let the player know that they find themselves thinking of a bad time in their past, and that a dark memory is stirred up, and ask them to think about what that might be. That's the end of Phase 2. Phase 3. The extraction. This haunting ghost tries to pull out these secrets it has hunted down, and attempts to spread it amongst the party. The player must make another wisdom saving throw, now at a DC of 15, or the secret is dredged up and shared with everyone in the form of visions and flashbacks. The player who failed takes a level of misery, which is basically just a reflavor of the exhaustion mechanic, and I'll share that little table here. And they must describe the scene to the rest of the party. Everyone experiences it as a vision, and they know they are seeing a memory from the offending character. Because they experienced it, they all must make a Wisdom DC 10 saving throw, or they share in the misery and also take a level of misery from this table. These levels of misery accumulate, so a number of bad saving throws could go very wrong for the party. Keep a track of the total level of misery unleashed, because that's going to determine how powerful the Murmuring Man becomes when he manifests. So for now, let the party roleplay out these scenes, and also the others' reactions to experiencing these shared memories. Phase 4. The Manifest. When this period of roleplay starts to die down, the haunting ghost takes all the shared misery and pulls the moth swarms and mummified remains of fallen adventurers into a physical manifestation of the Murmuring Man, and he attacks the weakened party. Now, a few side notes before we look at the Murmuring Man's stat block. If no one has been weakened by the misery, then the Murmuring Man will not manifest yet. But feel free to repeat this phase cycle for every minute the party spends in the grove, like when they're trying to loot mummified corpses and stuff. Also, a character might elect to share a dark secret if they know the lore of the Murmuring Man and they want to give it some misery to feed on, so it does manifest. Now here's the Murmuring Man stat blocks. He has a base stat block of this. He's got armor 13, health 35, speed 30 feet, and he's going to be resistant to slashing and piercing damage because he's made up of moth swarms. He gets 2 attacks, plus 3, only deal 1d6 plus 2 damage, but he has an ability called Dark Extract, and on a hit, the defender must make a Wisdom 10 save or take another level of misery. Now, for every level of misery he caused back in Phase 3, the Extract, he can manifest another clone of himself, and that forms right next to a character he has sucked misery from. Now, if you want to be really mean, or if you feel like you haven't manifested enough Murmuring Men to really challenge the party, you can also make his Dark Extract attack also create another Murmuring Man. This could go horribly wrong for the party if they make a number of bad rolls. Suddenly, they have several levels of exhaustion, the misery, to deal with, and these Murmuring Men are rising up all around them. If a large number of Murmuring Men are manifesting, there's a tongue twister for you. As a GM, maybe give these clones a stat block of diminishing returns. Like, say, health of 15, and then the next one has a health of 5. And that's basically the combat, but here's some extra side notes. There can be several bodies of long-dead adventurers found in the grove. I'll leave it up to you to determine the treasure on them. I'd probably give them a couple of uncommon magic items, just not winged boots. And of course, you may have characters that haven't really fleshed out their backstory, or they might be creating their backstory as they go, which, by the way, is a very cool way to have a shared storytelling experience with your Dungeon Master. If that is the case, you as a GM can tell the player what sort of vague secret from their past was dredged up, and the player then has to flesh it out more, basically creating a key moment from their backstory on the spot. Here's a table for vague outlines for some random secrets this Murmuring Man might dredge up and a character without a backstory. Now, if you stuck around long enough, here's that little bonus. I've put this together as a free PDF on my Patreon, along with the stump adventure found in my previous episode. There's other stuff there too, and most of it's free, so check it out in the newly spawned links below. They should have popped up by now. And thanks for watching, and I hope you have fun with this one. Catch you later. Bye.